If you're watching this right now, there's a very high chance you're doing what 99% of Shopify store owners are doing. And it's the exact reason you're stuck. You're chasing traffic. Meanwhile, your store is quietly leaking money every single day. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Most Shopify stores convert somewhere between 1 to 3%. That means out of 100 people who land on your site, 97 leave without buying, even though you paid to get them there in the first place. So you keep thinking the solution is more traffic, more traffic, more traffic. But if your site doesn't convert, all you're doing is sending more people into a system that is already broken. But what if I told you that you could easily double your conversion rate without touching your ads or increasing your budget? You could literally double your business overnight. That's the game nobody's teaching beginners. But this is where real money is made. And I'm going to show you exactly how we do this inside our company, where we've taken stores converting at 2 to 3% and pushed them to 5, 6% and higher, helping them make multiple six figures without having to rely on more traffic. So the first thing you need to understand is that design of your store doesn't really matter that much. It just doesn't move your revenue in any meaningful way. As long as your store looks decent and doesn't look like a scam, there's no need to spend more time on it. The same goes to your logo. People get stuck on that way too much. And after working on hundreds of stores and testing different structures and different offers and different pages, you start to realize that almost all conversion problems come down to the same 4 areas. 1, the offer. So the first area that actually moves your numbers is your offer, and more specifically, how much money you make per visitor. And I've mentioned this in some of my other videos already. You need to have a killer offer. And this is by far the most important one, because your offer is what determines whether your product is even worth buying in the first place. And unfortunately, most of you don't really know what your offer is. You have a product and a price. That's not the same thing as having an offer. If I ask you why your product is priced that way, there's usually no real answer. It's just somewhere in that $25 to $40 range because that's what everyone else is doing. So what ends up happening is that your offer is basically just a product listing. There is no structure behind it, no thought process around how the customer is going to experience the purchase, and no reason for someone to spend more or to choose you over the 10 other stores selling the exact same thing. And this is exactly why you get stuck competing on price. Because if there is no clear difference in value, the only thing left for the customer to compare is cost. And in that situation, the cheaper option wins most of the time. In many cases, increasing the price slightly can actually lead to more profit, even if the conversion rate drops a little bit. And in other cases, lowering the entry price and structuring the rest of the value across the funnel can significantly increase the number of people who initially commit to buying. One of the most effective ways to do this is by breaking the price into multiple steps instead of collecting everything up front. So instead of asking for the full price immediately, you can introduce a lower entry price and then add a checkbox upsell directly on the product page, followed by a pre-purchase upsell before checkout, and then a post-purchase upsell after the order is completed. What this does is it creates a sequence where the customer has already said yes once, which makes it much easier for them to continue saying yes to additional offers. And this allows you to increase both your conversion rate and your average order value at the same time. Which brings me to point number 2, trust. Now, the second part of this is trust. Because even if your offer is strong, people will not buy if they do not trust your store. And customers today are skeptical by default. And by the time they land on your product page, they have already seen multiple alternatives and possibly had bad experiences with similar products. So instead of looking for reasons to buy, they are actively looking for reasons not to buy. That means your job is to remove as much doubt as possible. And one of the most effective ways to do this is through reviews that directly address common objections. Not generic reviews that simply say that the product is good, but reviews that explain what the customer was initially worried about and how the product solved that concern. For example, if someone says they thought the product would feel cheap or break quickly or not work as expected, and then explain why that did not happen, that immediately builds trust. And you do not have to guess these doubts. You can literally go and find them in Amazon reviews or competitor products or TikTok comments, anywhere people are actually complaining. You also want to make sure that key information such as shipping times, return policies, and guarantees are clearly visible on the product page to remove any doubt that might be left in their mind. Point number 3, user experience. The third component is the user experience. This is how easy it is for someone to navigate your site and complete the purchase. And honestly, people overcomplicate this for no reason. What you need to know is that it only takes a fraction of a second for someone to form an impression of your website. And if the experience feels confusing or unstructured, they will leave almost immediately. So your goal here is to simplify everything as much as possible. Your website does not need to look impressive. It needs to look easy to use. So when someone lands on your product page, they should immediately understand what the product is, what it does, and why it is useful, without overwhelming the customer with unnecessary information. At the same time, you need to provide all the essential details, such as sizing, usage, for example, shipping and policies, in a way that it's easy to access. Navigation should be straightforward and the checkout process should be as smooth as possible, ideally minimizing the number of steps required to complete a purchase, which is why something like a slide cart works better than forcing people into a separate cart where they have another chance to drop off. Every additional click, delay, or point of confusion increases the likelihood that the customer will leave before completing the order. Point number 4, positioning. The fourth component is positioning, and this is what allows you to stand out in a market where many products are very similar. In most cases, your product is not that unique. There are other versions of it, other stores selling it. So if your product sounds the same as everything else, it will be treated the same as everything else. So the way you present it becomes the deciding factor. So you need to give your product a clear angle, a clear reason why it works, and what makes it different from other options that the customer has already seen. That could be how it is designed, how it is used. Maybe it solves the problem in a better or more unique way, but there needs to be something specific that separates it from the rest. Once that difference is clear, you are no longer just another option in a list, and that is what allows you to move away from competing purely on price. Now, I need to make something very clear. I'm not telling you that you're going to change one thing in your store and suddenly everything takes off overnight, because that's not how this works. And if that's what you're expecting, you're going to be very disappointed. What actually happens is much more gradual, but also much more reliable than that, because every small improvement removes something that's holding the sale back. And over time, those small changes start working together. Individually, each change might seem small, but together they compound. And over time, this is what allows a store to move from 2% conversion rate to 4, 5, 6, or even higher. At that point, you are no longer relying on consistently increasing traffic to grow, because your existing traffic is already generating significantly more revenue. And that is ultimately the goal of conversion rate optimization. And I'm not saying traffic doesn't matter. Obviously it does. But if your store does not convert properly, more traffic just makes the problem bigger and more expensive. So that's it, guys, for today. If you got value from this video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll keep putting out more content like this. I'll see you on the next one.